Hey Sam, thanks for your video submission. I just kind of wanted to take a second to go over some of the clips from the video that we've chopped up for you here. The first thing we really want to focus on that seems to be giving you a hard time is something very elementary that sometimes as hitters we get numb to, but it's just the simple alignment in the direction of our swing. Um, Now, if you pay attention, going through swing by swing, you'll notice, whether it's as a direct result of the pitching or whatnot, that your first move with that stride foot gets you closed off. Right now we know that that front side is in our way as we try and make room to the ball. Now it seems, like I said, very elementary, but we know the pitcher's in front of us, and we want to make sure that that first move is going straight towards the pitcher and not towards the first baseman in your case. Now, as you can notice, as you get loaded, that stride foot tries to work across its body as it gets closer to that line in front of us. And then now as that stride foot hits, you can immediately see as you're trying to fight to get inside the ball. Now here we are at contact point, and you can see how tied up not only in your top half, but your bottom half looks. Now, as young hitters, we all know our power lies to the pull side, so we don't want to restrict our ability to get to that pitch if that's the spot that's going to allow us to drive the baseball easiest right now. So first and foremost, what I would start to do is kind of get you off the tee, make sure that we kind of straddle that line in front of us and really get our direction down first. Once we kind of clean that up a little bit, I think it's going to free you up to do some other things in your lower half. But hitting starts from the ground up, man, and like I said, we got to get that figured out before we can start to work on the hips and work on the hands and the shoulders. But that spot right there makes it really tough for us to do damage on an inside pitch.
Hey Sam, this is Joe from Georgia Baseball Academy. Just going over your video with Danny, our other professional, and we just got out of the cage. Wanted to show you a few things. So we asked Danny to kind of emulate your swing, and I want you to take a few notes here. So as Danny sets up to the ball, and just for you personally, hitting off of a tee I think is going to really help you, obviously. Big leaguers do it, little leaguers do it, but it's one of the best places to break down your swing. So without getting too far into it, we asked Danny to kind of step over, and you'll notice that stride kind of closes his body off, which is what we see from you. And we've got that pitch set up on the inside part of the plate. As you can see, we're on an inside fastball, and anytime we get to an inside fastball, we want to make sure that contact point is out in front of our body. So Danny steps over his front side, and I want you to watch what his hands do. He has a really hard time getting to that ball, and he has to pull his hands inside of his body. That's not a good contact point. That is not a good, strong position. We want those arms to be out in front and that contact point to be out front. So anyway, that was something that we noticed, and I wanted you to see it from a different perspective. He's got a really hard time getting to that middle end pitch. So now I want you to take a look at what it looks like when we start gaining ground towards the pitcher and we get a little bit better of a base. All right, as you can see, Danny sets up. His stride goes towards the pitcher. He's gaining distance and gaining momentum towards the pitcher. Now what he's doing here is he's checking his feet. Everything looks good. His shoulders are square. His hands are in a good position. Now that he's set and ready, he's going to give it a little rock, fire his hands towards the target. Now, I want you to pay attention in contact point versus that last video. He's got that angle that we're looking for where he's got a good, strong arm, and he can extend his barrel through the contact point. Let's watch it again in full motion here. Load stride, extension through the baseball. All right, Sam, I'm going to throw you up against a guy that we've had hitting our academy a couple of times, DJ LeMahieu. He's a big leaguer. You may know him. He's got a pretty good swing. I really like comparing guys to him, but you guys have a little bit of a similar finish here, but I want to show you a couple different things. All right, so look at the bottom of the screen. You can kind of see your load here. When you stride, you're actually losing a little bit of ground. You take that foot, you step in, and you lose ground. And we talked earlier about that, closing yourself off and not being able to get to the ball. I want you to, now DJ's got a big leg kick, which I'm not a huge fan of, but big league guys do it, and as long as they stay balanced, which is where he's at right now, it's fine. But I want you to see his stride, and he steps over himself just a little bit, but he's got a good base. Good base. His direction is going right back towards the pitcher, as opposed to on the bottom of the screen, you're stepping over that front side. We'll watch DJ swing. Now what happens is his front side stays square, his hands are working towards the ball. He's able to get that good contact point. Oh, let me get rid of that line. He's able to get that good contact point that we talked about out in front of the ball, as opposed to you closed off. You're having to do a lot of things, pull those hands inside, and you're not really able to get there. You can kind of see that bent elbow instead of, we want that good contact point out in front of our body. So you can kind of see DJ from the top, contact point, extension. You can see that good extension after contact, as opposed to you getting to contact and then having to cut that swing off because you're so tied up. Same, another good drill we thought would be helpful to you would be an angled front toss. Normally, you'd have an L screen off to the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the batter behind his back. Danny's a pretty good hitter, so I trusted him here to use his hands. So with that ball coming in at an angle, it really doesn't allow you to close your body off. And the goal is to flip middle in and try and keep the ball up the middle of the field. So I'm going to back it up here. As you can see, I'm flipping the ball from the side, feeding it into a middle in location, and letting Danny's hands work to the ball and drive that ball up the middle. Now, as you can see, one thing that we've got to limit from you is when Danny strides, load stride, his feet are in line. His feet are in line to the pitcher. He's not closing himself off. He's allowing himself to be able to get to the baseball, as opposed to you coming in and closing yourself off and cutting your swing off. Let's watch it in full speed. One more. Load stride, get to the ball, line drive up the middle. Ball game. Good luck, buddy.